What's up, basketball fans? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest NBA news and NBA rumors. And we all know the NBA news going around right now. Will they or won't they finish out the season? Well, latest report coming out this morning is that the games will be restarted on Saturday. Now, games that were supposed to take place on Wednesday, those were the first set of games that got postponed. The Bucks and the Magic. That was boycotted. That's the Bucks really set this whole thing into motion. Game 5 between the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder also didn't happen that afternoon. And then the Lakers and the Blazers that night didn't happen for Game 5 either. That could have been one that the Lakers went ahead and wrapped it all up. And then the next day, what was supposed to be happening on Thursday, those games also got postponed. The Nuggets and the Jazz didn't happen. The Celtics and the Raptors, which was Game 1 of Round 2, didn't take place either. And then the one we're going to spend a little bit more time on right now, the Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks. That was supposed to be a highly anticipated Game 6, win or go home for the Mavs, but that's probably going to happen on Sunday. Now, they haven't released exactly when this game is going to be played, but the Dallas Mavericks are the first team that have really stood up and said something after all the boycotts have taken place. Mark Cuban and associates with Rick Carlisle, Michael Finley, they've all teamed up and they said, we are going to take action. That's also the name of their plan to address the racial injustice. Their plan tackles all kinds of things that are happening in the DFW area. They're going to tackle education, employment issues, child welfare, healthcare, and like we just mentioned, all the racial injustice stuff as well. They've also announced that the American Airlines Center is going to be opened up for voting in November. It will become the largest voting place in the DFW area. So here is the plan that the Mavs and Mark Cuban are going to put into motion. Following the boycott of Game 6 of the Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Clippers, first-round playoff series, the Mavericks have pledged 7 days of action to combat racial injustices occurring around the country, to bring attention to, lead change, and invest in organizations fighting racial disparities and inequalities in DFW. So this is the Mavs plan. This is what they have decided they're going to do, their first tangible set of things that they can do to help the NBA players stay invested and help the community that they work within and play for as well. Mark Cuban's always been one of the most outspoken owners, and with this plan to not only be active in the community but also donate money, it probably means a lot to his players and to his entire coaching staff. Now, on All Things Mavs, we've been doing live streams for every single game. The Lucas step back, we were live for. You probably saw me scream my head off. It happened. But we're also going to be live for Game 6. Whenever it happens, we think it might be Sunday. It's still TBD. Go to youtube.com/allthingsmavs. Make sure you subscribe to the All Things Mavs channel and hit that notification bell to make sure that you do not miss our live stream for Game 6. And also, if you want some more Mavs content from me, follow me on Twitter at all_things_Mavs. Let's talk about the Mavs' opponent, the Los Angeles Clippers, and what they decided to do. Now, remember, there was a players' meeting that was held Wednesday night after the Milwaukee Bucks said, we're not going to play. The Clippers, along with their other team in Los Angeles, the Lakers, quote-unquote, voted not to finish out the 2020 NBA playoffs. Kawhi Leonard was one of the guys, along with LeBron James, that was adamant about canceling the playoffs. And then Patrick Beverley was just asked this morning what their mindset is and whether or not they'll be ready to go. And he said, we're in a championship mindset. We're going to play no matter what. But either way, this gives the Mavs and the Clippers a couple extra days of rest. Both teams dealing with some injuries. Patrick Beverley with the calf strain. And we'll talk about all the Mavs injuries here in just a second. But at Game 6, it's going to be a fun one. You've got Luka Doncic, who's been amazing all offseason and all playoffs long, nearly averaging a triple-double. Meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard has been amazing, averaging over 32 points per game, while Paul George is finally starting to get his rhythm back and maybe break out of the whole pandemic P slump that he is in. But I think the guy who benefits the most from this extra 24 to 48 hours off is Kristaps Porzingis. Remember, KP was questionable, listed as questionable for Game 6. He was originally listed as questionable for Game 5, and then he was out. Game 4, he wasn't even on the injury report, and then he was a late scratch and was not in the starting 5. And Rick Carlisle was asked, hey, what's the deal? But he was asked about this on Wednesday. He said, I'd like to be more optimistic than I currently am. But that was back on Wednesday. Mavs were supposed to play Thursday. Now we might not get a game till Sunday. So does this mean the Mavs are going to get their second-best player back for that Game 6, which is, might I mention, win or go home? Well, KP They hope they can get him back because in the 3 games that he's played, he's averaged nearly 24 points, 9 rebounds, blocked 1 shot, and shooting better than 52% from 3. But KP's not the only one on the injury report. In fact, these guys are going to benefit from the rest as well. Luka Doncic had that bum ankle that Marcus Morris decided to step on and try to hurt even more. Kristaps Porzingis, as I mentioned just now, is questionable with the knee injury. Dorian Finney-Smith had a sore right hip and a sore left hip. And then Trey Burke also turned his ankle. He was listed as questionable for Game 6 as well. And now we'll just have to see who wins it. So I'm going to poll you guys. I'm going to ask you right now, who wins Game 6? Type DAL for the Dallas Mavericks. Type LAC for the Los Angeles Clippers. Here's my thing, and I've talked about it with my friends here at Chat Sports. If Kristaps Porzingis plays, if he plays, they are going to win. If Kristaps Porzingis is out, I'm afraid the Los Angeles Clippers win it, and the Dallas Mavericks are going to be packing up and heading back to DFW. Now let's talk about Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. He's missed the entire playoffs with a quad strain, but now he's coming back for Game 5. Again, he has not played a single minute, but according to coaches and according to teammates, he looked as explosive as ever in a 5-on-5 scrimmage. A great sign for the Houston Rockets, who have really started to lose a little bit of momentum against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's tied at 2 games apiece. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won the last 2, and now Russell Westbrook's going to go up against his former team and hopefully try to send them home in 6 games, but he's got to play Game 5 before any of that happens. Now, Russell Westbrook inside the bubble didn't play that much, only played 4 of the 8 possible games. He scored 24.3 points per game, 7.8 assists, 6.3 rebounds. Shooting, not great, but you know what Russ does. He gets those triple-doubles, and his shooting, while inefficient, still helps the Rockets quite a bit. Now, the starting 5 for the Rockets is finally getting back to 100% healthy. Ross and James Harden in the backcourt. Eric Gordon is back to normal. PJ Tucker is your starting center, which is really weird because he's like 6'7", but whatever, it works for them. And then Robert Covington is your 4, who has been absolutely outstanding for this team. You look at this series so far, and it has just been a roller coaster. It started off with the Rockets being really dominant. 123-108 win in the first game, 111-98 win in the second game, and then all of a sudden, Game 3 goes to overtime. The Rockets get held to 2 points in overtime, and the Thunder win that one, 119-107. And then Game 4 happens, 117-114, another tightly contested game, but the Thunder came through in the clutch. So what's going to happen in Game 5? It's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to watch it. This is now an intriguing series, probably the second best series next to the Clippers and the Mavericks. But who do you guys think wins Game 5? Is it going to be the Houston Rockets, or are the Thunder going to win their 3rd straight? I made a very bold claim and a very hot take on a live stream not too long ago. I said the Thunder are going to win out. And you know what? I'm going to hold true to it. I do think the Thunder win this thing in 6. I think they're going to win the next 2 games. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, you can come back to this video and clown me all you want. But I'm taking the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 5 and in Game 6. Now, let's move on to some draft rumors about the Golden State Warriors. Are they interested in Nico Mannion out of Arizona? Well, that's the report that if they trade down, they're going to look at the Red Mamba. Now, why? Honestly, I don't know. I have Nico Mannion near the bottom of the first round for me, so they'd have to trade way down. But you look at his freshman season, and the numbers were fine. They didn't pop or anything like that. He scored 13.9 points per game, 5.5 assists. He was a pretty good creator, but when you look at the point guards on my big board and who I have above Nico Mannion, I mean, there's a lot of better options. Even if the Warriors decide to trade back to the end of the lottery, they can still get an elite guy like Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Halliburton for that matter as well, who they've also mentioned that they like. Heck, you trade back to 8, you get Cole Anthony. You go to 6, you get Killian Hayes. I mean, if they really want a point guard, just stay at 2 and take LaMelo Ball. I don't really know what the Warriors are thinking here. Nico Mannion is going to be a fun, like, 6-man kind of project guy for a team off the bench, but he's not worthy of trading back, like, middle of the first round, getting a decent veteran plus a pick, and you take Nico Mannion near the end of the first round, and you hope that he pans out. Now, no matter where he ends up, there's going to be some awesome jerseys available coming out of the draft, and there's awesome jerseys available right now on Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. These things are the real deal, authentic, hand-stitched NBA jerseys from Fanatics, fresh from Nike. You can't get any better than that, and they're only about $90. No matter who you want, no matter what team you want, Go pick one up today at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Go rep your favorite NBA team with an authentic, hand-stitched Nike NBA jersey. Let's keep talking about the Warriors and what they've got going with the NBA draft. Now, on lottery night, I said loud and clear, James Wiseman should not be the number 2 pick. And guess what? The Warriors agree with me. Multiple reports have said that the Warriors are not high on James Wiseman, that they don't like the way that he fits with this team, and that, in all honesty, they're not taking him at number 2. In fact, there's a guy that they have over him on their own big board. This is from NBC Sports. This is from a guy who is very plugged in with the Warriors. He said, believe it or not, the Warriors are actually higher on Southern California's Onyeka Okongwu than James Wiseman. If they end up taking a big man in the top 5, it'll almost definitely be the 6'9" Okongwu. His game is well suited for the Warriors' style. And let me move the mic away from my mouth a little bit as I say, thank you, because he is the best center in this draft. He's better than James Wiseman. I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. Now, if you want a center, I'm not saying James Wiseman's bad. Of course, James Wiseman is incredible. He's still worthy of being a top 10, top 5 pick in this draft. But if you really want a big man, go with Onyeka Okongwu out of USC. You want a Bam Adebayo? That's what he is, and he's going to be a better shooter than Wiseman. Now, let's say the Warriors decide to trade back and they really think they need a big man. Well, guys like Isaiah Stewart, Jaylen Smith, and Daniel Oturu are also really good picks, and they can get them later in the draft if they trade away that number 2 pick. So I'm going to ask you guys, who should the Warriors draft with that second overall pick? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat if you're watching live with us here on Chat Sports. I truly do not anticipate them keeping that second overall pick. I just don't think it makes sense. I think trading back and getting an established veteran makes a lot more sense than keeping it, but maybe you disagree. If they keep it, honestly, I think LaMelo Ball is the pick there, and they groom him underneath and alongside Steph Curry. But maybe you disagree. That's fine. Just let me know what your opinion is in the comment section. Now, basketball fans, I brought this statistic up, and it hurts my heart. It sinks to the bottom of my stomach when I read this out loud. Only 22% of the subscribers here on Chat Sports are NBA fans. 22%. The rest of them come for the NFL, college football. Heck, some of them said they're here for hockey. We barely even do hockey on this channel. I don't know if we've ever done hockey on this channel. I mean, we can if you guys really want it, but I want to do NBA. I don't want to be Jimmy C, the NHL guy. I want to be Jimmy C, the NBA guy. That's what I'm doing. So please hit that subscribe button and then let us know when you do. Subscribe down below to Chat Sports so we can keep doing NBA videos. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers because, good Lord, this has been a wild week for them and for their leader and really the face of the NBA, LeBron James. LeBron reportedly stormed out of that Wednesday night player meeting that involved every player inside the NBA bubble, and then some gamers got online, and they saw LeBron playing Madden and NBA 2K, which is not a good sign if you're leaving a meeting about racial injustice and what the NBA should do moving forward, and then you go and play video games. I don't know about that one, LeBron. It's up to you. But LeBron also voted, hey, we should just call this thing and call it early. Now, if you want to go ahead and add LeBron on whatever gaming system you play on, Strive. Oh, this is on Xbox. Just been told. This is on Xbox. Add him at Strive for G8, which is like Greatness 23. You know, if you want to, great. Maybe you'll catch him in a lie. Maybe you'll catch him playing when he shouldn't be playing. Now, this is what Shams Charania had to say about LeBron leaving that meeting early, and this really cleared a lot up. I know I was just hating on LeBron a little bit, but truly this clears it up. Shams said LeBron James, I almost called him LeBronia James. LeBron James walked out of Wednesday's player meeting because he supported the Bucks, supported the boycott, but there was no plan. For James, actions and outcomes mattered the most. Otherwise, why did they do any of this? He became comfortable to play once the NBA Players Association mapped out a purpose and a plan. So that's good for LeBron. I'm glad he left for the right reasons. He didn't just leave just because he was mad. He was just mad because there was no plan. And that actually makes a lot of sense to me. The Bucks decided to sit out without any further action getting ready to take place. And then they got it figured out, and the NBA and the NBA Players Association have come up with an agreement to kind of get this ball rolling and to get the games back on track. Now, if you are a Lakers fan, and I know we have so many of them that watch here on Chat Sports, go ahead and join the best and fastest growing Lakers community on all of YouTube. YouTube.com/LakersTV. I'm doing videos almost every single day. We've got people all around Chat Sports that do Lakers stuff and are talking about your Los Angeles Lakers whenever you want, on demand, 24/7. So go hit that subscribe button. We just passed 16K, I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and get up to 20K. Might as well do it. YouTube.com/LakersTV. Now, the Lakers do have a playoff series that they still need to be in the right mindset for. You've got the Blazers and you got the Lakers. But the Lakers have a commanding 3-1 lead. Damian Lillard's out for Game 5, however, because of that knee injury. We'll talk about him more here in just a second. But Game 5, win or go home for the Blazers and lose or, I guess, go to the second round for the Los Angeles Lakers. When you look at how the games have played out so far, the Blazers won that first one by 7 points. And all of a sudden, people were kind of like, whoa, maybe the Blazers can make some noise here. Well, not so fast, my friend, as Lou Holtz would say. Right, Lou Holtz? No. Who says not so fast, my friend? Lee Corso, that's who it is. Game 2, 111-88 with the Lakers winning that one. And then Game 3, another 8-point victory. And then Game 4 was just pure dominance. Damian Lillard went down with that knee injury, and the Lakers won by 20 points. The Lakers have this wrapped up because there's no Damian Lillard. He's gone from the bubble. He left to get that knee looked at, which swelled up so bad that he could not even bend it properly. And now you go ahead and see what the Blazers have, and it ain't that pretty. You got Winnie and Gabriel now starting alongside Gary Trent Jr. That's a starting power forward, and you're starting 2 guards. C.J. McCollum probably slides to the point with Melo and Yusuf Nurkic. I'm afraid it's just not going to get it done, and I'm afraid the Portland Trail Blazers are going to be going home in just 5 short games. Lakers lead this 3-1. It's basically over. But now the question and their sights start to turn on the NBA Finals. Should the Lakers be considered the favorite to win it all? Let me know down below in the chat. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I go back and forth on the Lakers and the Clippers. As of right now, I think I'm leaning Lakers, but just the other day I was leaning Clippers, so you can convince me either way. If you say yes, make your case in the comment